Your images of prostitution may be shattered by what you're about to learn. Only on 6 tonight, a major effort to stop prostitution in local high schools. The girls are recruited and sometimes even pimped by their own classmates. Alexis Del Cid talked exclusively with a local victim.
Several investigators tell us that high school prostitution here in the local area is real, and it's getting worse. And tonight, for the first time ever, the woman you're about to meet is sharing her story publicly. Not as a victim, though, as a survivor who's hoping to save others. Looking at 30-year-old Jessica Richardson's old family photos, you'd never guess the horrific childhood she endured.
This is me. I was about 5 or 6. I was already accustomed to having sex.
The Gresham business owner, active in her community and church, is a happily married mother of 4 small children. But she says the sex abuse she suffered as a child at the hands of 3 neighborhood teenagers tormented her until she broke.
I dropped out of high school with a 3.8 GPA my sophomore year. I was the captain of my junior varsity cheerleading team.
Then she met someone who made her feel safe.
He built me up and made me feel so special. And he was 43 at the time, and he told me I was worth more.
She would soon learn he was being literal. 2 weeks later, he was her pimp, and by her 18th birthday, Jessica says she'd been with thousands of men.
Thousands.
Thousands.
Thousands. On the streets, you're turning 10, 20 a day. In the hotels, it might be 3 to 10.
Jessica's pimp found her at a local mall, but today investigators say pimps in the Portland area are targeting girls in a whole new way, inside their high schools and junior highs.
One pimp that I talked with referred to a school as a buffet because all the girls were contained in one area. It was easy pickings.
And Multnomah County Human Trafficking Task Force Director Keith Bickford says a growing number of pimps are Portland high school students, turning their vulnerable classmates because it's such easy money.
It could start as something like at the back of the school somewhere, and a buddy will pay money for a girl to do that.
Bickford says his task force is currently investigating prostitution within 5 local high schools of all demographic areas, rich and poor, and he estimates hundreds of high school girls in the local area are currently involved in some form of prostitution. Want a second opinion?
Oh my God, this is so out of control and so bad. I mean, it is just mind-boggling to a guy that's been a cop for this long, and to see the lack of resources and the lack of help.
Portland Police Vice Sergeant Doug Justice says in nearly 30 years on the force, he's never seen anything as bad as the child sex trafficking situation in the Portland area, and his partner agrees.
Good girls that come from great families, good strong families with a mother and a father that care about them a lot, get into prostitution.
This is Lake Oswego, Westland, Estacada, you name it. Rentals everywhere, it's happening.
It's incredibly difficult to prosecute a pimp when police say their only evidence is a young victim who usually disappears or changes her story because she's been threatened.
There's no safe place in the state of Oregon where you can put a little girl in and lock the door and get her medical, education, counseling, all the stuff she needs to be safe, that we can't do that.
But there is an effort underway to change that. Several state, local, and county agencies are working together to get the money to build and run a safe house in Portland for girls who've been rescued from sex trafficking. But in this economy, money is a huge hurdle.
They need to know that there's a safe place.
Jessica's case is rare. She wasn't rescued by anyone. She says after several months of planning, she escaped on her own, eventually entering counseling, finding a relationship with God, reuniting with her family, and through her church, meeting her husband.
He supports me so fully, and I'm so grateful to have him.
But she knows the road to where she is now would have been much easier with someone or some place to help her. So now, at 30, she's joining that effort to create the safe house and get victims the resources she never had. Sharing her story, she says, she finally feels free.
And if my story can change the life of one girl, of just one, then it would be worth it for me to share it.
Right now, the Human Trafficking Task Force is working in several local schools, educating teachers and administrators on the signs to look for to know if a student is involved in the sex trade. And if you'd like to learn more about this issue, or if you'd like to do something to help get that safe house built here in Portland, we've posted several links on our website with more information. And as a web special, we've also posted